Welcome to this video. In this video we are gonna talk about the women freedom fighters of India, so let's get started. Rani Velu Nachiyar, called Veeramangai, brave woman, by Manga the Tamils, too was the princess of Ramanathapuram. She was well versed in several languages including French and Urdu. She married Muthavajaganantha Udayathevar, the prince of Sivaganga, in present-day Tamil Nadux. In 1772, the armies of the East India Company and the Nawab of Arcot attacked Sivaganga, and King Tevar was killed in battle. The British captured Sivaganga. Rani Velu escaped into the forests of Dindigul with her infant daughter. She was able to get the help of Hyder Ali, the then ruler of Mysore and a firm enemy of the British. She built up an army of young women and called it Udayar, said to be named after an adopted daughter who died fighting the British. The Marudu brothers, who were her confidants, also raised an army from amongst the loyalists in the region. Rani Velu began to fight and get back Sivaganga. She and her army reached the fort, where the English forces were stationed. The fort was difficult to seize. Keeli, the commander of the Udayar army, noticed the British ammunition store nearby. She poured ghee over herself and set herself on fire and charged into the ammunition depot, causing it to burst into flames. The British gave up in the end, and Ram Velu managed to free her kingdom in 1780. She is considered to be the first queen to wage war against the British, long before 1857. Rani Chennamma was married to the ruler of Kitturu, in present-day Karnataka, who was from the Naika dynasty. She was well trained in archery and sword fighting as well as in horse riding. After her husband died, and her son also died, Chennamma chose to adopt a boy, Shivlingappa, and proclaimed him as the heir to the throne. The British opposed the move and tried to take over the princely state of Kitturu by imposing the policy of doctrine of lapse. Even before it was officially articulated by Lord Dalhousie, Chennamma refused to give up Kitturu to the British. The British attacked Kitturu but suffered a bad defeat at the hand of the army led by Chennamma in October 1824. An agreement was reached between the British and Rani Chennamma to cease war, but the British kept up their attacks on Kittur. In the second round of her war with the British, though she fought valiantly along with her lieutenant, Sangali Rayana, she is said to have been betrayed by some of her men. She refused to subordinate Kitturu to the British, so she was captured and imprisoned by the British in the Belahangal fort. She died in captivity, but Sangali Rayana fought till his capture and death. Rani Chennamma was another pioneer to lead an armed rebellion against the British East India Company before the 1857 revolt. Bhimahai Holkar, the daughter of Raja Yashwant Rao Holkar of Indore and granddaughter of Ahilyabai Holkar, was trained in warfare in 1817. Bhimabai fought against the British East India Company forces and defeated them in guerrilla warfare. It is believed that her fearless confrontation with the East India Company proved to be an inspiration to Lakshmibai, the Rani of Jhansi. Begum Hazrat Mahal came into her own after the exile of her husband Nawab Wajid Ali to Calcutta. She took charge of Awadh and declared her son as the next Nawab. She put up a strong resistance to the British during the 1857 revolt. She is said to have led her army in a battle mounted on an elephant. After her revolt was crushed, she went to Nepal where she spent her last days. Yuddha Devi, born in a Dalit family, is said to have approached Begum Hazrat Mahal to seek help in resisting the British. The Begum agreed. Yuddha Devi was duly trained and then asked to lead an army of women. She married Makapasi, one of the soldiers, who was later killed in battle with the British. When the British attacked Sikandarbag, a fortified palace of the Nawab, during the 1857 revolt, Yuddha Devi led the Begum's troops against the British in Lucknow. She had trained as a sniper. It is said that she climbed a tree, from where she shot dead some 30 British soldiers before she herself was shot dead by the British. Yuddha Devi is among the female Dalit participants who are today remembered as the Dalit Varanganas of the 1857 revolt. Umabai Kandapur, born in Mangalore in the Galikari family and given the name Bhavani, made a major contribution to India's freedom struggle and emancipation of women. The family moved to Bombay, now Mumbai. Though married at a very young age, her father-in-law, Anandarav Kandapur, was a progressive thinker and, under his guidance, Umabai continued her education. Later, when she was widowed, she joined her father-in-law in the work of his Karnataka press and headed the Tilak Kanya Shala in Hubli, helping in the spread of girls' education. She founded Bhagini Mandal, a voluntary organization for women. She also became the leader of the women's wing of Hindustani Seva Dal founded by Dr. Hardikar, and worked to draw women into political activity. She was instrumental in bringing women to the Belgaum session of the All India Congress in 1924. She took part in the Salt Satyagraha. In 1932, she was arrested and kept in Yerwada jail for 4 months. During those months, the British confiscated Karnataka Press, closed down her school, and declared Bugani Mundal as unlawful. After her release, she opened her house to those disowned by families for their participation in the political struggle. During the Runt 1946 movement, her house was a bafe house for freedom fighters. In 1946, she was appointed by Gandhi as the agent for the Karnataka branch of Kasturba Trust working the Hazra uplift. After independence, she stayed away from political office. Captain Lakshmi was born in Madras, now Chennai, as Lakshmi Swaminathan. Her mother, Amakati, was later to be a member of the Constituent Assembly of India. Lakshmi became a doctor. She got drawn to the Indian National Army and met Subhash Chandra Bose in Singapore. Bose was interested in bringing in women into the organization, and gave Lakshmi the mandate to set up and lead a women's regiment, the Rani of Jhansi Regiment. From Dr. Lakshmi Swaminathan, she became Captain Lakshmi. The British arrested Captain Lakshmi in May 1945. She was kept under house arrest in Burma until March 1946. She was then sent to India. In 1947, she married Colonel Prem Kumar Sehgal, another leading member of the INA. Tara Rani Srivastava, born in Saran, Bihar, married Fulendu. They joined the Quit India movement in 1942. Collecting in Babu, they began their march towards the Sivan police station, where they timed to raise the tricolour. Fulendu fell to police firing, but continued to lead the march. Tara Rani influenced women from nearby villages to join her in the protest against the British rule. Gaidinliu was a Naga leader. She joined the Haraka movement led by her cousin, Hepu Jadanang, when she was just 13. The movement was for a revival of the tribal religion, but also became a political movement aimed at pushing out the British from the region. She took over the leadership of the movement after her cousin was executed by the British in 1931 on the charge of treason. She followed the practice of the nationalist struggle for freedom in urging the people not to pay taxes and not to work for the British. Gaidinliu evaded the British authorities, went underground, and engaged in armed rebellion against the British. When, in 1932, Gaidinliu moved to Palawa village, the British managed to hunt her down and arrest her. She was incarcerated 14 years and released only in 1946 when the interim government of India took over. It was Jawaharlal Nehru who was said to have given Gaidinliu the title of Rani or Queen. Kankalta Baru